Hi there. So I am posting another video because apparently the audio went out on my video before. So I can't show you the solution in place because they've just cleaned up for the day. But last week I posted a video regarding a trip to City Hall and an effort to work with the church down the street to put some guardrails around the homeless feedings that they've been doing, which have been creating catastrophic problems for the neighborhood. So great solution, provide homeless with services, and they were taking zero responsibility, holding zero responsibility for the consequences of those services on the neighborhood. I have attempted over the years to talk to the priest, and his response was always, I am not responsible. We are not responsible for what happens in the neighborhood. I'll fast forward through the rest of it. A week before the council meeting, the Councilwoman Diaz's office punts into my court the responsibility for coming up with a solution to work with the priest that was to be, quote unquote, done before the council meeting. The timing was suspect. That they were not holding any responsibility at all was frustrating. But I didn't let that stop me. I jumped into action. I spoke with a friend who's also a client. She very graciously connected me to someone who then connected me to some other resources. And in less than 48 hours, sorry, I'm having vanity issues. In less than 48 hours, we actually put a solution in place. A group was going to come out, volunteer. They're former Metro. They have open carry. They connected with Metro, who's going to have some officers here. The idea to bring out tents, bring out tables, tell the homeless, please come, get a hot meal, go back and fill your plate up. But if you're going to eat the hot food that we prepare for you here, you're going to have to sit here to eat it. You can't bring your garbage into the neighborhood around. And be able to have services there, services that, for people who need help can get help. And then for the small percentage of people who were showing up at these feedings and were not interested in services, and I call them the shit disturbers. These are not people who have mental disease. These are not people suffering from addiction. These are just assholes. These are people who break property because they feel like it. They vandalize because they feel like it. They defecate because they feel like it, and they don't think rules apply. Very small percentage, but unfortunately, they're the kind of percentage that creates a real problem. Well, let me tell you, police officers, armed security, those kinds of people are going to stop coming. Good. Let the people who need the services get the services. Let the people who are there for a hand up, not a hand out, let them get what they need and provide them with what they need. So the idea got torpedoed. I'm not going to go into the why, but suffice to say there's some people who are more interested in pandering for votes and politicking than they are in actually resolving civic matters. It is what it is. Truth of the matter, it's not government's responsibility to resolve the homeless issue. It's a private enterprise deal. As a business owner, I am responsible for the neighborhood around my business. I am responsible for the consequences of my business. And I am responsible for engaging with my neighbors so that we can work together to make the neighborhood better together. So I called the gentleman. His name is Walt Walters. I called him back saying that the issue had been kind of tabled. And he said, I'm not going to let that go. We're going to find a solution. So this morning, the solution began. This morning, Walt came out with a group of volunteers, some tables, some chairs. He popped up some tents, put the tables down. And guess where they put them? On a parking lot that the church owns that is immediately adjacent to the church. Interesting to me that all this time, there's been a piece of property that the church actually owns that they've been unwilling to use. Instead, having the feedings on the intersection, on the sidewalk, and the neighborhood all around them. So the good news is the good father has now seen the error of his ways. The good father, who I found out this morning, interestingly, apparently he's not actually a priest. And apparently the church is not actually part of the diocese. I find all that very interesting. None of that really matters, because what really matters in this is that a group of people who had the willingness to talk about a situation and come up with solutions and then actually put some skin in the game and do the work. Now, This is the first morning in I can't tell you how long that I haven't had to clean up waste from the church. And by what I mean by waste from the church, it's plates, it's cups, it's open containers of food that get spilled, that get thrown. And also the waste left by the humans who bring those plates and the food. No human excrement, no garbage or leftover belongings, and no food waste. Now, it's just the first day. It's just the first day. But I just went and talked with Walt. We may have actually found a solution. We have found a solution. He had some great ideas. He said, yeah, we're going to bring in people with other services. We're going to bring in people who can provide shelter and job support and housing and mental, people who have mental disorders who, maybe are looking to get some help. But because the people will be in a space that has a bit more containment around it, some structure around it, we will be able to, in that environment, provide them in a non-threatening way with services that can actually give them help. It's all I've wanted. From the beginning of this, it's all that I've wanted. And it did not happen how I thought it was going to. But it happened. And that's what matters. And where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.